Folks, we're filming on the top of a washing machine because I'm doing some cleanup of some boxes, and that's why we're on the washing machine, because I'm playing with boxes. Anyways, here's something that I came across that I completely forgot I had while I was playing through these boxes. It's the Dreamgear plug-and-play 50-in-1 plug-and-play game system thing. Obviously it has 50 games in one, we shall see. And basically a quick overview of the system. This is your fake analog stick, which is clickable, doubles as a button. I don't know if it does anything. You got a D-pad, which is okay-ish. Your reset button, your start button, your turbo, your A button, your B button. You got your power switch, brings up the LED. This takes up about 2 or 3 AA batteries and has a fucking screw there. So, yeah. I hate consoles, or I hate anything that has me unscrewing a screw to plug some batteries in. I mean, the batteries is already a hassle. Why bother with a screw in it? I guess it holds it in better, but still, it's just a minor gripe on my end. Anyways, here are your wires. It's completely battery powered, so I gotta pray that the batteries still work. So, basically, it's one of those NES on a chip things, like the Power Player, except this doesn't have any licensed NES games or pirated NES games in here. It's more public domain games, I guess you could call it. What's the best, right? I don't know if you've ever seen that Ashen's review of the Games Power 50 or whatever it's called. Had a whole bunch of games like Bob Shop and stuff like that. Some of those games are also featured on this, so that's the best example I could give you. But if you really want to know what's in this, anyways, stick around for about a couple of videos, because we'll cram through all of these as quickly as possible. I don't think there's anything too complicated here, so anyways, I'm going to hook this up to the TV, and we'll play the Dreamgear plug-and-play 50-in-1 thing.
Alright, so when you start this thing up, you get Dreamgear plug-and-play with a car. 50 classic racing games. 50 classic and racing games. Funny how they call it classic when it's actually 50 public domain names, but some of them are racing games, so there's that. So here's your menu. There's a little annoying tune playing in the background, and yeah, that's all there is. So anyways, let's not waste any time. Let's start with Aero Engine number 1, and it's a space shooter. It's one of the generic space shooters that appears on the various public domain, free, cheapo plug-and-play things. I think this was one of the games on Ashen's Games Power thing. I could be wrong, or the VG Pocket, whatever it was called. I just missed the power up. And anyways, you only use one button, just to shoot the shots. Here I am getting lazy. I'm just holding down the turbo button, and get a double shot. And then eventually you get a spread shot. You'll note that I skipped over quite a chunk of the game. And there's your boss. It's the same generic boss over and over again. Okay, nothing really changes. You have multiple waves of enemies, but the background never changes. It always loops. And the boss always loops. And I sort of skipped towards the end of the game. So this is what happens when you beat the game. It resets and starts over. So that's what happens when you beat the game. So we're gonna end it on this note, and we'll move on to Big Racing number 2. And it's a nice title screen. Not many of these games have title screens, so that's good. So, and it's a overhead racing game. So I'm just gonna figure out how to move. And there we go. So so basically, you're just driving in this red car, and you're driving to avoid all the other red cars. And that didn't go out so well. I like how they have like a a circular, like they have a round track in over the map. I mean, I like the fact that it has a circular, despite the fact that you don't actually turn in this game. You're just moving in a straight line. You know, in a way, this reminds me of Road Fighter, which is a classic Konami arcade game that made its way to the Famicom. I don't believe it ever made it to the NES, at least not locally. But, anyways, I'm just driving through this this road, staying down here, and well, so much for that strategy. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep driving here, and nothing's going to happen, huh? Oh yeah, this is riveting entertainment right here. By the way, I like the engine sound. It's just a long buzzing sound. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep going. Keep going. Oh, some other car crashed. That's a good thing. Okay, well, looks like I'm almost done. Either I finished the race or I run out of time. And okay, well, we finished the race. Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna see what the next track is, if there is another track. Okay, it's the same shit all over again, so, anyways, I'm going to keep going. Wait, why am I keeping going? No, let's start it over. There we go. Anyways, number 3, Bingo's app. No title screen. So this is Bingo's app, where the whole object is to guide the ball to a flashing hole. And I win. Okay. So, anyways, you bring the ball to the hole, and you win. You bring the hole to the... Oh, wait, that wasn't even... Uh-huh. Yep. Bring the ball to the hole, and you win. You gotta bring it to the right hole, and otherwise you don't win. Oh yeah, this is such a fun game. I'm having quite a blast playing this. Although, to be honest with you, this is kind of calm, soothing. Not all that exciting, but... yeah. I don't even... for some reason I can't... You know what I kind of noticed though? The timer keeps going. It doesn't reset or anything. Yeah, it just keeps... I think they just deduct second... Oh, I guess not now. 10 seconds. Because you really needed a minute to go from point A to point B, especially at... Okay, you know what? I've had enough. Next! Okay, number 4, Birdie Nest. Now this I do recognize from the Ashen's Games Power 50, 60, whatever the hell it's called. Anyways, you control a hand. You're catching the eggs and you're avoiding the turds. And you have 10 lives. Oh yeah, this is riveting entertainment. You can't let the bird fall, otherwise you lose. And you can't catch the turds, otherwise you... I don't know if you actually lose if you catch the turds. I don't know if you just get stunned or whatever the case may be. And this is riveting entertainment right here. Oh yeah. Let fall. Yep, game over. Okay, next. Alright, next up we got Bolt Fighter. And what... That's a nice title screen, actually. Really nice. 1 player, 2 players, top score. Let's check out the top scores. Wow, those are scores worth. Yeah. Anyways, I sort of reset it on purpose there. Anyways, player 1. And it's a pretty generic looking shooter. Okay, I pressed the wrong button. Okay, so one button shoots my bombs, the other And I gotta spread power up. And I'm just shooting through these things. I'm just shooting. I'm collecting these things. And you'll note that I have the turbo button down. I honestly don't care to play this game properly. Yep, I'm just blowing through. Well, kind of a nice thing though is if you get hit, you lose power-ups. You don't die right off the bat. I'm back. Get my spread shot, and this is riveting this is riveting entertainment right here. Yeah. Yes, I'm just blazing through this, and this stage is endless. This stage is endless. Come on. And I got looping stages. Wow. It keeps looping and looping and looping and looping. Keeps on looping. Okay, is anything going to happen right now, or am I just gonna keep looping and looping and... Oh, Jesus. Wow. Well, to be fair, the controls aren't all that bad. I mean, they're pretty responsive for the most part. And they're pretty comfortable, and... Ooh, we got a boss. One of the easiest bosses ever. But then again, I got... Ooh, 2 more bosses. Figure. And, we killed them. Okay, that's kind of cool. We get a nice little score tally. Let's see the next stage. Wow. Hey, I'm kind of impressed, actually. They managed to fit in another level in here. You know, I sort of expected them to reset the game again, like the Arrow Engine one. You know what? I could have a bit of fun with this one, actually. You know, it's kind of, you know, the turbo button thing aside, it's actually kind of it's a pretty basic, pretty straightforward shooter. Nothing to write home about, but it's a pretty playable one. The controls aren't all that bad for a game like this, so you know you can either go with the digital pad or you go with the fake analog pad, the analog stick, or I guess it's not an analog stick. But no, pretty playable shooter. No complaints here. I think I'm gonna stop now because otherwise I'm gonna take all day. So this is the building road, and you're supposed to build a road from point A to point B, and with only the available pieces, and yeah. Yeah, no clue how I'm going to get this done. Or maybe I just don't care enough to have a clue. Anyways, there's a redo button, I guess. Jeez. Oof. Okay, next. Bump car. So, oh, if you go to exit, you exit. Goes without saying. So, bump car. So even though I landed on the bottom of the road, or whatever is the bottom of the grassland, I don't explode. But if I run into a rock, I blink out of existence, because apparently they couldn't program in an actual explosion. Which is kind of lame. Well, I crashed into something else. But I don't explode because, you know, apparently the game can't afford the explosions. Yeah, did I mention this was riveting entertainment? Let's move on to the next game. Catch the egg. Basically, you catch the egg. Or should I do... Basically, you catch the egg. With the most finicky controlling pan ever. Jesus Christ. This thing likes to bounce all over the place. So you have to try and be as precise as possible. Otherwise you overshoot yourself and you'll bounce all over the place. You know, this is almost like Kaboom. Except you're avoiding the bombs as opposed to catching them. You have the annoying public domain music playing in the background. Annoying the piss out of me. Well, I'd say, well, to be honest with you, I wouldn't say it's annoying, but, well, the pan went kaboom. I fail. Next. Challenge 100. This is actually not a bad idea, actually. All things considered. You control a little frog and you have to make your way down, but not so much down that you fall to the pit below. You just gotta land on the platforms and that's about it. Yeah. There are no enemies, you have no attacks, you just drop down and try not to fall to the abyss below, like I'm about to do right now. All in all, not a bad game on a rainy day. And let's move on to the next game, Dart Champion. Or... this looks familiar, actually. Discs flying out of the cannons, using both buttons to shoot. The square. Oh, now I know where. This is from Track and Field on NES, the skeet shooting event, or Hyper Sports from the arcades. Or was it the arcade? I don't know. I don't care. This is ripped off from another Nintendo game, except they changed the graphics and it has nothing to do with Track and Field or the Olympics or anything else for that matter. Wow. Yeah, it's even the little guy, the shooter, his face looks the same as the other game. Okay, Dragon Path I think it was called. I missed the name. It's Snake. The classic game where you guide your snake, or in this case, a dragon, to the various flames, and each time you eat a flame, your dragon grows in length. So, basically, all you have to do is get from point A to point B, eat the flame without crashing into either the walls or yourself. It's Snake. There's not really much to say about this one. You know, other than the fact that this generic tune is kind of annoying at this point. Yeah, you gotta love the sound effects in this game. That's gotta be the longest dragon I've ever seen. Ugh. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Snake. You know, if I wanted a casual puzzle game, or a casual anything in general, I'll just pop out Tetris. Oh, I pass. That's kinda nice. I'm not gonna bother with stage 2 because, you know, anyways, this is a card game. Why am I playing cards? Is this like, was it what, solitaire, I guess? Oh, I guess it is solitaire. I guess, more or less, I'm assuming. I'm trying to play it like solitaire. Yeah, it's some kind of solitaire. Yeah, okay. Next. Dump lorry race. Kind of like a racer with directions. And oh, that was a nasty turn. Anyways, I'm gonna try to race through this to the best of my ability. And again, I'm not a big fan. Oh, really? No explosions? I could forgive Enduro because Enduro's a fun game to play, but... Oh. Hit detection is kind of wonky. Oh, not that time. Oh, no explosions though. That's a heartbreaker. That's a deal breaker for me right there though. You know, arcade style, old school racer. You crash into something and there's supposed to be an explosion. And this game doesn't have that. I am disappointed. What it does have is some of the sharpest turns ever. Like so. And when is this track going to end? Excuse me. You know, this engine sound could put you to sleep. Seriously, they couldn't come up with a better engine sound? I don't care anymore. I really don't. Elfland. Hey, wait, where are the elves? I thought this was Elfland, not Paint the Bucket Land, and why am I flashing? Because I got hit. Obviously. This isn't such a bad concept for a game, though. It's a pretty inventive idea. You know, you're playing I guess a pale imitation of Casper the Friendly Ghost. Except you're not really a ghost. You're some multicolor thing. And you just gotta dump yourself, and you gotta kill the enemies by dumping yourself in some paint and then touching the appropriate colored enemy. And this is actually not bad of a game, actually. You know, it's a pretty unique concept, you know, in comparison to the other stuff that we played so far, at least. And it's pretty fun to boot for the most part. You know, I could see like a decent game come out of this, actually. You know, it's a pretty standard old school arcade style arcade game. And also, you know, on top of that, you know, now you got different levels too. So, it's actually not that bad though. It's actually a pretty decent game for the most part. It's pretty fun to play, pretty easy to get into. Would see this game being its own little independent release, actually. You know, it's certainly good enough, at least. Probably not the best or most notable, but that was a nice little kill. There was a blue enemy hiding behind a green enemy, and anyways, we're just gonna keep going. The controls are a little sticky or loose. So, anyways, we got this rally game. You know, rally with an X. You're just gonna drive around, you just gotta get all the flags. You know, if you're familiar, I guess Rally X would be the closest equivalent. Then, certainly, you know, should be quite at home with this one. This music puts me to sleep. And, okay. So I run into a spinning car and I still lose. Okay, alright. Anyways, next, moving on. Firefighter! Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm remotely familiar with this one. you basically have a firefighter that you have to bounce around, much akin to Arcadoi or Breakout. And one of the firefighter fell to his death. Brilliant. I kind of like how the firefighters are wearing blue instead of, I don't know, yellow or red or black. And yeah. Anyways, this is a pretty interesting, but ultimately not that great of a Breakout clone. Making me fall asleep. Must stay awake. No, wait, he's dead. And he flies off to heaven. And I move on to another game called Fish Catcher. And I'm pretty sure well, this one's not so bad either. You know, you control a hand and you're catching fish with your hand. Oh. Well, at least it was short. I don't see the game having any other different levels, so let's go to Gear Race, which is another overhead shooter. Excuse me. Well, there's overhead shooters, but this is an overhead racer, another one. And it's got the same annoying sound for the engine. Ugh. No, it's true what they say though. A lot of elements are reused and recycled. And, you know, wherever they. Oi. Whether it's, you know, shooters or racers, they just recycle some of the same game concept, I guess, and they just go through multiple games. Uh-huh. Oi. Nothing's happening. Picked up a power-up. I don't know what that does. But this engine sound, it really is putting me to sleep. By the way, I just want to apologize. I'm recording this late at night, around 2:30 in the morning. I should be in bed, but unfortunately, I'm recording audio at night. Okay, this is next. Golden Arrow. Gee, I wonder what this is going to be. Oh look, it's another game that they ripped off from Track and Field for NES. The archery game. You know, it sort of amazed me that they didn't attempt to put out the other events from Track and Field onto individual games. Because I know a number of multi-carts would do the same shit. But yeah, it's archery, you know, from Track and Field. You just gotta, you know, shoot your arrow at the bullseye and hope you qualify. Qualify for what? I don't know. As you could probably tell, I'm not doing all that great. But that's what happens when you're doing this in 2:30 in the morning. Or in the case of the actual gameplay, almost 3 o'clock. But, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to, the skinny Mario scratches his head, and I bid you adieu. Let's move on to the next game. Alright, so next up we got GP Race. Take a wild guess. Oh, God. Another one of these road fighter things where it's overhead and I can't. Oh, no. I need a drink. You can pretty much play this one-handed. No, I'm probably not. Just as I was about to say that, and take a sip of tea, my little biker. Oh, look, there's actually variation on this road. That's a surprise. This is much closer to being a road fighter clone than the other ones. which is just you going in a straight road and doing fuck all. Okay, so certainly just because there's a bit more variety in the road doesn't mean the game's any better. The funny thing being that I actually enjoyed, you know, what little I've played of Road Fighter, and I'm actually not all that great at the game. This is actually, you know, this somehow... And how is it they're still using the same engine despite the fact that it's a different vehicle? It's like a, what is it, a motocross motorbike? It's a motorbike, I guess. How is it using the same engine sound? One thing you'll note though is that you're not penalized. I mean, well, yeah, you're no, if you crash and you explode, you obviously, you know, you fall behind, but you know, in Road Fighter, if you were to crash, you lose a bit of fuel. Here, it's not the case. Here, I just reset. So now we got Grass Cutter. Basically, you mow the lawn. No, I'm completely serious. That's all you do is you just mow the lawn. And this is another classic game from the Games Power 50 that was reviewed by Dr. Ashen a few years back. And this, you know, I like to know meet the genius who thought that making a video game based on lawn mowing would be a good idea. Cause when I think of entertaining outdoor activities, I think of mowing the lawn. Yeah. And basically, you just mow the lawn, you move on to the next stage where there's another lawn to mow, and the whole process just keeps going from there. And I stop caring, and we go to the next game where you basically catch flies that appear on the screen. And it would not surprise me if this background graphic was used in some other game like a shooter or something. But yeah, you control this net and you catch flies. Sometimes there'll be other insects on screen that you have to avoid altogether. Other times, there'll be more than one insect. Anyways, I'm still catching flies. I don't know why I'm catching flies though. So now you got this other insect that you have to avoid. Otherwise you lose. I don't know why, but yeah. I've said it before, I'll say it again, but this is riveting entertainment. I like how that net's flying on its own. So amazing and stuff. And yeah, I ran into the other fly that I was supposed to avoid. But the game gave me no warning, so... Warning, that's for pussy boys! This is me resetting the game and moving on to the next game, Jewel Master, which is a clone of Columns, the classic Sega arcade game. The classic Sega arcade game? Well, it is an arcade game, but I meant to say puzzle game. The classic Sega puzzle game, Columns, where you match up columns of things and make three or more of the same jewels, in this case, disappear, and you get points. Jewel Master happens to be a game that a lot of the multi-carts like a part of, or at least some variation of Jewel Master. You know, sometimes they'll call it Jewel Master, sometimes they'll call it something else entirely. And this is actually not a bad version of Jewel Master. But then again, I don't really know the difference because they all look the same, they all sound the same. I guess this one sort of sounds worse than the other one that I'm used to, because this one's got the generic public domain music that rapes people's souls. I'm going to move on to the next game before I ramble incoherently. So, this is first-person tennis, and basically my invisible paddle will bounce into the tag, and I guess I'm supposed to get 3 of a kind, and not hearts, not 3 hearts, but rather 3 stars, or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna play this for a while, but the game's not all that fun. It's not all that exciting. Okay, so I did win something. What did I win? Probably nothing. Which means I've no reason to keep playing this game. Let's move on. I said, let's move on. Come on. There we go. Anyways, Last Cabra. It's another overhead shooter with pretty explosions. Oh boy. And even the tune's recycled. So you get the power up, you get a double shot. Who wants to bet that the next power up I get is gonna give me a spread shot? So yeah, it's another shooter actually. It's just pretty generic. It's the same as the other one that I did, you know, a couple of games ago. Not much to complain about. There's a lot more green on here, I guess. But that's about it. It's a pretty, it's a pretty generic shooter. But, you know, as long as this turbo button works, I'm probably not going to care about the actual game, am I? I died, as you could probably tell. And we got a boss, and the boss is actually quite a bit of a douchebag. Giant laser, giant puffballs of death, spread shots, that's absolutely brilliant. I apologize if I'm not saying anything, I'm just trying to get through this as quickly as possible. And I got my spread shot back. Certainly power-ups are not in the rare department. You know, you come across them pretty easily actually. Okay, I've had enough. Let's move on to the next game. Next game is next game is... yeah. Oh, okay, we're getting somewhere. Anyways, the whole object is you gotta land the balls on the higher rackets. Don't ask why. So it makes it to that racket. Makes it to that racket. Makes it to that racket. Next, it's another racing game. Behind the back view. And you want to know the other amazing thing? This thing must have something in common with those pop station things. 'Cause the motorbike has the same engine sound as the truck and the car and, you know, from the other racers. Oh joy. Oh, and as you probably just witnessed a short while ago, there's no explosions on this either. Nor does the guy fall off the bike and bounce off to his bloody demise. Just blinks out of existence. Like so. Oy. Yeah, it's another racer. It's a pretty... Apparently this one doesn't have any turns. You just avoid the other riders and try to avoid the obstacles. And I'm going to stop now. So now we get to choose from 3 different patterns. Okay, so this is another puzzle-like game. you're supposed to line up the three things in a row, like so. Let's see if we can do like a quick. No, you can only combine certain blocks and then they fall. This is okay, I guess. Probably not one of the better. Probably not one of the better puzzle games, but it's still a pretty, you know, it's no Tetris, it's no Puzzle League, but it's still pretty, you know, it's not bad for a rainy day, I guess. I'm just gonna go through this. Nice layout, it's all that, so I can't really complain all that much. You know, you can't go wrong with a well-made puzzle game at least, so I guess in this regard, it's not a bad game. You know, it's pretty fun. And, yeah, there's really not much else to it. You just, switch pieces around and they disappear. And, yeah, it's only if only you could do more, but I guess that would defeat the purpose of, you know, the puzzle game aspect of it. Anyways. Yeah. This one's not so bad. It's not the greatest thing. It's probably it's no, again, not going to replace any of the more well-known games out there as far as the puzzles go, but it's not so bad. It's pretty I'm going to reset it. Ocean Quest. Another racer. Okay, so we have trucks, we have off-road racers, we have motorbikes, and now we have a speedboat sharing the same engine sound. And it's another one of those games where you go from left to right. No variation in the road, or I guess in the river in this case. Dear Lord. Riveting entertainment, is this not, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, you know what, I've had enough. Let's just move on to the next game. Nothing's happening in this one. Anyways, Paint Master. Oh boy. It's that painting game that I don't really care for. Except they changed the music. I've also seen this on a couple multi-carts and a couple of plug-and-play NES things. Except it has a little sponge head thing. You guys are supposed to paint the whole place around. But, okay, I'll be honest with you, this is not my favorite game. I rarely touch it. Let's move on. Pet Shop. Nice title screen. And, basically all you do here is throw objects at the dog, and the dog will throw objects at you. And I never could get the hang of this. But the dog hits me twice. That's brilliant. I miss. But the dog has perfect accuracy. And, okay, you know what? I'm gonna end it here. Let's move on to the next game. Pinball Track. Oh, they got a pinball game here. This is not pinball. Okay, this is, okay, I guess you gotta navigate this ball through the maze, like chasms. And you get the little key thing, and you go through the door, and that's the whole game. Well, you got multiple stages at least. They're different. Anyways, you gotta make it through the tunnels and avoid holes. Try not to fall in the holes, and don't fall in the holes. Okay, we'll go through another stage. That's not bad. Yeah, it's not the most exciting game ever, but it's functional, I guess. And down the hole we go, down we go hole, avoid the hole. What? I was nowhere near that fucking hole. What the oh, yeah, whatever. try to hug the wall a little better next time, maybe, you know. So. Well, I didn't fall in that time. Fuck it. Push the ball. Air hockey. With a robot. And I could move up, down, left, right. That's kind of cool. Of course, you know, when it comes to like a game like air hockey like this, nothing beats a two-player game. But since you can't play two players on this thing, you know, aside from alternating play, then anyways, this could be kind of fun. Oops, he scored on me. Could be good. Could be fun to play if the controls were so sticky. I missed that one. I don't know, that was my fault. I was an idiot. I was playing with the controls at the time. Yeah. Brilliant. I think right now I'm not even trying now. I'm just yeah. It's kind of cool though. It's like the more hits scored against you, the bigger the window crack. Which I think it was it's nice, kind of a nice touch. Of course, if you score on robot, he just feels a bit with an annoying little jingle. I'm actually marginally enjoying myself. The only thing that puts it off is the sticky controls. You know, if they had like a true analog controls on this, it probably would have been a bit better. But yeah, that would be expecting too much to have true analog controls on a plug-and-play NES clone with 50 faux classics, for lack of a better term. Actually, there's probably a whole lot of better terms. Still, I'm still playing this. It's caught my attention for this long, so you know I can't really fault it for uninspired gameplay. It's making me play. It's probably one of the more interesting games thus far that isn't a repeat shooter racer with different skins. Okay, I've got enough. Let's go. Next. Racing. Oh. I've noticed that the majority of these recycled racers tend to use the same music track. I mean, seriously, every racer I've played on this collection, on this machine, well, I guess it's a collection on racer, but you know, at least the boat explodes. You know, I'll give it that. But it's the same shit all over again. Well, let's dwell into this a little more. Maybe we'll be lucky and the river will actually split into two or something. But yeah, it's like they all have the same engine sound. That's what I don't understand. Couldn't be bothered to like produce more than one different engine sound? Okay, I got enough. Game over. All right, so what's next? Road bumper. Gee, I wonder what kind of game this is going to be. Of course. Same engine sound. Same background music even. Oh boy. Oh, who knows, maybe this game will surprise me. At this point though, I kinda doubt it. Oh, here comes a rider. I'm gonna swoop by him, no problem. This is like Road Fighter for babies. I mean, seriously. Collect fuel, none of the other bikes try to bump you off. Oh, there's some motion. Not a whole lot of motion, but it's better than nothing, I guess. Oh dear. Yeah. You have the graphical glitches on top, which makes it... Oh, you could bump the guys at least. That makes it somewhat interesting. Can we bump him off the road? There we go. I suppose you could have a bit of fun with this. Not a whole lot. So I'm just gonna bump some bikes out of the way. Or try to anyways, fail miserably. And, not a whole lot of fun in all honesty. It's kinda... This road's endless, isn't it? I mean... So I guess you have to collect as much fuel as possible to keep playing, but honestly, the game doesn't really give you a whole lot of incentive to keep on playing. You know, it's like playing old Atari games, but without any of the fun that those games bring about. And we're out. Game over. That was really... Ugh. Supermoto, what was it? Road Bumper, Road Fighter, what was it called? I don't know. Well, anyways, I don't care. Runner car. Please. Don't let it be another racer. Oy. Same music, same engine sound. How did he get 3 racers in a row that play all the same way? Oh, you get money. I wish I got money for every game, but I guess not. Oh, I got brakes at least. Not that I'd ever need them. Oh, I could have used them that time. I like how the other car just bumps into me like an idiot. And stuck there. Oh, brilliant collision detection. Absolutely brilliant. Guess it's to be expected, I guess. But, yep, getting bored. That's it. I could have benefited from a nice explosion or two, but I guess not. Anyway, Sea War. Ooh, we got a shooter. You control a ship. You're dropping bombs on various submarines. It's like reverse submarine invasion. Actually, that would make sense here because you're being invaded by submarines. But basically, this is all you do. You just drop bombs on the various subs and hope they collide with the various targets. Avoid the projectiles. Not much to it. I suppose if there's a bit of variety, or like a bit of a pattern, but it's all randomized. Oh, that was a nice shot at least. Getting bored of this rather quickly. Not losing interest, and losing. Nothing happens, huh? Losing interest, losing. Alright, so this game has nothing else, it's just, yeah, net. Slot machine. Gee, I wonder what this is. It's a slot machine. I don't know what else you were expecting. Yeah, why not? It's not like I got anything else better to do. I do. Anyways, you got a slot machine. Ooh, 2 cherries. What can I get out of that? Nothing. Next. Smart escape. Featuring a penguin. Okay. Oh, this is drastically different. You control a penguin, overhead view. You shoot balls. This is kind of interesting. Let's see if I can figure out what to do here, shall we? But, definitely, an intriguing game of the lot so far. So I guess I'm going to collect these hearts. My hearts grow bigger. I guess that's my life meter. like I'm sounding like a guy who has no idea what he's doing. I guess in this case it sort of applies though, because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just walking a penguin around. I guess I'm supposed to look for the exit or something, or the entrance to the next level. But anyways, let's just dawdle through this a bit. I'll tell you what though, this is some nice soothing music at least. Oh, run into that snake like a moron, that's just brilliant. Did it again, absolutely brilliant. And I can't grab a heart for some reason. Why not? Why can't I grab the heart? Oh well, might as well kill myself. Okay, game over. Next. Not a bad game if you knew what to do. Anyways, oops. Sorry about that. Okay, where was I? Where was I? Space Castle! AKA Space Invaders. With cutesy graphics. And mushroom houses. And power-ups. That's the important thing. Power-ups. But yeah, it's Space Invaders. You know the deal. You know, if you ever played Space Invaders, the only difference is this is apparently easier because it just reset to the top every time you die. I don't think Space Invaders does that. But in any case, you have power-ups. You shoot the power-ups to gain the power-ups. And I got a freeze feature, so it makes it easier. And I totally take no advantage of that little ability. I've got shots now that could go through multiple invaders or sponges or whatever the hell they're supposed to be. Space Castle, I guess. So no, yeah, that's not bad. At the very least, it somewhat resembles a classic game, Space Invaders. I don't know if they do anything different, interesting here. Anyways, whatever. We've got another racer. Oh boy, another racer. Love racing games. I don't. Oh dear. Anyways, anything different? Well, still have that blinking thing. I mean, come on, you couldn't program an explosion in there. Anyways, it's the same deal, the same engine sound, the same racing mechanics, the same blinking death. I don't get that part, but anyways, enough of this. And we have a railroad game. I think it's probably like that pinball game. You gotta navigate your little ball, get the key item there, and make it to the exit. You know, the same old deal. Anyway, so I guess that's the key. I guess that's a bunch of fries. I guess that's a barrel of fire. Sorry, I couldn't tell with the poor graphics. Oh, the key moves around. It's not the same place, is it? I guess it kind of moves around though. That's a way to add some challenge. Do I want to get that thing? I guess so. On the money bag. Yeah, might as well. Let's move there. Go through the door. Make it to the end. And we win. Pass. And that's it. Because I don't want to go through that sort of thing again. Anyways, when I figure out how to work this D-pad, we'll play Star Ally. Nice little title screen. And nice little shooter, overhead shooter. And it's probably gonna be like all the other ones. It's gonna be, you know, okay, I'm gonna have a rapid fire shot at first, and I already have a spread shot. So, yeah. It's already the same thing. Bunch of random shit shows up. And that's all I'm gonna get is the spread shot. I'd be surprised if I get any other weapon in here. Oh, wait a minute, what's... Oh, wait, I got lasers! Amazing, I actually got a different weapon. Mind you, I'm just spamming the turbo button here, but back shot. Oh, I got a back shot as well. That's not even it's kind of cool, I guess. So you got that. You got the Star Soldier type of spread shot. 2 shots and 3 shots up front, 2 shots in the back. Back to the regular spreader. Back to the lasers. Oh, this is probably the best shooter to pack. So I guess I got a boss now, right? It's not the greatest boss ever, but whatever. I will take him down with my turbo lasers of death and avoid his spread shots and ramming attacks. Oh, that was pretty easy. Yeah, I guess so, with the got multiple stages. Of course, the big piss off is that they reset your power level so that it goes back to the default weapon. But still, oh, nice epic explosion, which is what I don't get from the racers. Absolutely, got a 1-up, but this is actually probably the best game of the pack. The Star Ally game. It's a nice rounded shooter. You have a number of power-ups. The soundtrack's kind of stock. Probably would have benefited from better music, but hey, hey, there's actually a pretty decent game in here, and one I wouldn't mind. Dare I say, I wouldn't mind it if they had to put it on its own cartridge or something. You got a variety of weapons. Oh, you got fireballs, or plasma shots, I guess. I guess they're fireballs. And we're going back to the... Yeah, I guess that's the Star Soldier type thing, but... I'm actually enjoying this game quite a bit, but I better stop before... get to the surfing game. I'll be honest with you, I have no clue what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm guessing I have to avoid the obstacles, but I don't know if I'm supposed to... I don't know if I'm supposed to... I guess I'm supposed to grab those little people. Or money bags. I can't see anymore. So I gotta avoid the money bags. I gotta get the money bags. And not run into the people. Okay, next. Truck race. Gee, I wonder what this is. Of course, it's another racing game. Next. I'm not even gonna bother with that one. Okay, so this is a... poor doggy. Truck ran over his tail. So I gotta be a little more careful. Oh yeah, this is sort of like, gotta get the power-ups. Power-ups that make you go faster. It's gotta be the slowest traffic in the history of traffic. Amazingly, that did not get me killed. You know, I just spotted the truck running over the dog's tail. That didn't get me killed. So, I guess collision detection is kind of picky at certain points. So we unlock the door. The key appears on the street, so I gotta go down. So you gotta go down, you know, you gotta play this Frogger for dummies, so to speak, and you gotta get the keys. You gotta go back down and you gotta play it. It's not the greatest game ever conceived, but it's better than the many faceless racers that they have included on this thing, so it's something different. Valiant Rescue. Round 1 player round. Oh, it's another one of these generic shooters. I don't know why they would put this towards the end, especially since I already played a much better shooter like the Star Ally game. Anyways, let's see if... And on top of that, it doesn't seem like it's going to be any different from the earlier ones. Get a whole bunch of power-ups and I get a spread shot. Well, I haven't gotten the spread shot yet. Yes. I guess there's also, yeah, there's also a Xevious type of bombing capabilities, or I guess Twin B type of capabilities. Rainbow bells, or whatever you want to call it. I'm just gonna shoot down planes, because that's all I'm really gonna do, and I'm gonna die. Yeah, it's not that I don't enjoy a good plain simplistic shooter. It's just I'm not getting into this plain simplistic shooter, especially since I've played several different variants of the same thing earlier on. Anyways, game over. Next game. Wizen. Select. Oh, it's that game where you're supposed to fit the various pieces into the square and fill up the square. And I have a feeling I screwed that up royally. Playable shouldn't have gone there. Yeah. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Next. Zero Tiger. Gee, I wonder what this is gonna be. Another shooter, shall we say? Yep. Hey, wait a minute. The title screen had a chopper, and I'm playing with a... Oh, I died. That didn't take long. But the title screen has a chopper, I'm playing with a jet? Funny that. But anyways, it's another one of these generic shooters. Not like the Star Ally game. And the Star Ally is probably the best game of the bunch so far. But at the very least, you know, the spread shot. Anyways, so that's all the games on the Dreamgear thing. I'm gonna lose my last life, and then we're gonna go back to the final overview of the Dreamgear. So, yep. You know what? Let's just end it now.
So that was the Dreamgear plug-and-play 50-in-1 game controller system thing, and it's a rather meh product at best. I mean, for the most part, the D-pad's functional. You know, although you have, from the footage, you've seen that, you know, I've sort of flipped to the next page by accident. It does sort of have that finicky nature, but for the most part, it's pretty responsive. It was pretty comfortable for the hour that I sat through the thing. But the games themselves aren't all that... I think the basic idea that they had was that they just made, for certain games, they made the same generic shooter, and then they decided to copy that format multiple times, and for each time that they copied it, they changed the graphics and tweaked the gameplay slightly, so it's somewhat different, but for the most part it's the same thing. Same thing with the racers. They changed the perspective of the game so it doesn't look the same. They changed the graphics, but it's all the same game, and ultimately it ends up not being all that interesting. And, you know, there's a couple of gems in there. You know, there's that one Star Ally shooter, which I thought was pretty decent, had the makings of a decent shooter. For the most part, like an early NES era shooter, like a Star Soldier or something, or Star Force, Star Soldier, something to that extent. But aside from that, the rest of the games were either not all that interesting or not all that good. You know, and I'm sure there's going to be someone that's going to find a lot of some enjoyment out of this thing, because, you know, 50 quick games, can't really complain. You know, but if the games aren't all that interesting, then there's not really much you can say. You know, and I guess that was the case with me. You know, I picked this up for about $10 at a flea market. I think it was used. I don't recall. You know, for the novelty, but the novelty quickly wore off, and I ended up stuffing it in a box somewhere. And I'm even amazed that the batteries are still in here. You know, usually, when I stuff these things away, I just take the batteries out and I stock them aside for the Game Gear. But anyways, yeah. So that was the Dreamgear plug-and-play 50-in-1. If you happen to come across this, you know, for really cheap, I don't know. It might make for a good gift for a little kid. You know, if you want to get them into gaming, you give them something like this, and then once they get bored of them, you could upgrade them to a more sophisticated gaming system like Atari. But yeah, this is like this for me at least had a short shell life, but I'm sure somebody might find this, pick this up, play some of the games, and might enjoy them. But then again, you probably get more enjoyment playing, I don't know, Star Force or Defender or Asteroids or Dig a Wing or any of those games, or any other game that you could think of off the top of your head. You'll probably have more fun than this. But you know, it's a harmless piece of tat, but certainly not one that's going to be having a long shell life. So yeah, anyways, so I'm going to end it on that note, and till next time, take care, and yeah, I'm going to go now clean up some boxes.